Okay, so what we're looking at is a huge great pliosaur, hind limb of a pliosaur. This was discovered in the 1960s in Streatham in Norfolk, and it really caused a stir because the person who found it was the excavator who was actually digging the channel, and his foreman then notified the Sedgwick Museum here that they found a large reptile. And a few days later they came out and excavated round all the bones and goodness knows what. And in the course of that, there was a great deal of sort of public interest. So public were coming to the site, looking at it and going through it with the experts or whatever. But they left it. What they did was they came back one day to do an excavation, then they came back another day on an alternate day to do this. Anyhow, to cut a long story short, I don't think they realised, and this is being fed, and the significance of what this represented, because we think the excavator had destroyed part of the skull, but there was still a lot there, and that would be really diagnostic. And what they collected was, I think, was a lot of vertebra, a few ribs, this propodial and a few other bits, and not a great deal else. And it's only latterly that it's been realised that this was one of the most significant finds of a pliosaur discovered this sort of century. But be that as it may, that was formed enough. And what they found also with it was what they thought was a scapula. And this scapula was unlike any other pliosaur been discovered before. So the guy did the description of this specimen and called it Stretosaurus, in the honour of Streatham, Stretosaurus Macromerus. And what he defined it really was this characteristic, this very characteristic scapula that no other pliosaur had got. And in the paper, he shows how the muscles interacted with the scapula and how it interacted with every other limb bone of the chest, the chest girdle and everything else. And for many, many years, everyone accepted it. It was, yep, Stretosaurus. In fact, they're still called Stretosaurus in the collection here. And many years later, they were excavating the Kimmage clay up in Swindon, and they found another pliosaur skeleton. And lo and behold, they found the scapula of this, like Stretosaurus, and they also found the ischium. And actually, they realised that, hang on, this represented two distinct pliosaurs, Stretosaurus and Pliosaurus. And they thought, this is wrong. So what we realise now, that where Beverly Halstead had described this as a scapula, it turned out to be an ilium. And so now the name Stretosaurus is now not used anymore because it's not a distinct species based on that. But nonetheless, you can see it's an impressive hind limb. And it's just a shame in a sense that the realisation was made long after the excavation had stopped, that it possibly would have been one of the most complete specimens found to date. So anyhow, cut long story short, since then, this was in the 60s, Westbury up in Wiltshire has produced, I think, 2 pliosaur skulls, or jaws and skulls, and a lot of postcranial remains, but certainly not as good as this material here.
That's all we've got for you today from the Etches collection. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and hopefully we'll see you next time.